Well, well, well. Welcome back to the channel, all you proper villains. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're working on what the hell was that? Like my voice just gave out. We're working on a couple foxes here. Kind of a sketchy watercolor idea from my client Jenna, who happens to own an independent bookstore out in Grimes. Go check her out. Super cool place. Get your reading vibe on. She had this idea, and so we're gonna see what we can do about making it happen. Yeah, the video sped up to fucking 8 million frames a second here because it was a pretty long tattoo, and this video would get fairly boring if you had to watch it in real time. So I'm just going through. I'm using. I think I ended up using a 5 on this. Which is a little bit smaller than what I would typically use for my normal style of tattooing. But it was appropriate for the size of this tattoo. I'm just working through here now, trying to make it look sketchy and artsy, not paying too much attention to I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you want to get a lot of motion and texture, and not so much like this solid situation. Sorry it keeps focusing on my badass Maui Vans hat, but whatever. Tough shit, deal with it. Lining process on this was really smooth. You can see that green thing on the end of my machine there. That's the tube that the needle goes through, and that's made by Good Guys. I really like these tubes for lining. I really like them even more for my 15 curve mags for shading and coloring. I just feel really perfectly sized grip, and I have a lot of control with them. They're really, really nice. Wow, that hat looks really great. I'm glad it keeps focusing on that. Pretty straightforward situation as far as the tattoo goes. Line it up. The real work and the artistic part, license, I guess I should say, comes with the coloring. With it being, her wanting it to be watercolor. That's really, it can be done so many ways, and most of the time I see them done, they're done to look, and they end up looking splotchy, or they're not smooth. There hasn't been enough water used to fade through the color. So here we are, getting ready to do the shading and coloring. I'm actually using a different tube on this. I'm not using a Good Guys tube on this. That's why it's wrapped with Coflex to make the grip a little bit bigger. It gives me a little bit of hand relief. Cherry colored foxes have the backs of their ears are black, and so are their paws, down to about the elbow or so. So you can see me kind of just really coloring outside the lines, being very free, using a lot of water. That gives me a very, very smooth gradient, and it makes it look, for lack of a better term for you, hand done or messy. But it's not really messy. It's done with intent. I'm doing it intentionally to make it look very watery, to give me a good gradient, a flow, like it's been done very artistically as a watercolor would be. Another fun thing about this video, like an asshole, I have not put the entire picture so you can see what it's like when it's done. You have to go to the Facebook page or the Instagram page to see what the tattoo looks like finished. You'll get glimpses of it, of course, but if you really want to get a good look at it, that's where you need to go. If you like the content you're seeing, like everybody on YouTube says, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, get post notifications. I'm trying to post as much as I can. It helps me out. Not yet financially, but that's the gain. That's the end goal for me, is so I can make some passive income doing this, showing you what I do day to day, and sharing some of my knowledge. So here, this color, back to the tattoo after all that shit. This color is actually like a burnt orange. And I find it to be a little more organic and looks a little less fake as far as a fox goes. You can see me really rolling over. I'm using a lot of water and just really getting free with how I'm coloring this in. The idea is to make it not look like in a solid splotchy, but to make it look like it was painted to show depth and to show the intent of color, to let your brain finish the color scheme that's going on. Where I think it really plays the best, not only in the foxes, but is in the leaves, where I've done multiple colors. And you can see me coloring the orange right over the green there in the leaves to get that how you would layer in a watercolor painting. That's exactly how I would do it and how it's done. Just giving a clean wash so I can see what the hell I'm actually doing. Because it's just, we're built on layers and layers of color, you know, the burnt orange to a regular orange to a real like a creamsicle orange to yellow and gold. It's a difficult thing to get to look right. Watercolor tattoos are. They can look wrong in so many ways, and they can look right in so many ways. It's not something I do a lot of. However, I do a lot of watercolor painting, and tattooing reacts a lot like watercolor painting. So it's not the same, but it's the same. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it's just about knowing how to use the tools and building. And I'm just layering and layering and layering here with that same color. I'm getting everything saturated the way I want. You know, start light and keep building it until it gets to the opaque level that I want. Here I'm using a different color. You know, there's that lighter, peachy kind of color. Almost a flesh tone, really. Back to a little dark brown. You know, chocolate color to give me some depth to build over the top of what I've got. We're rounding out here, be to the end. I'll let it kind of roll out. Hey, thanks for watching. Get those post notifications and subscribe. Tell all your friends about how fucking cool I am, or not cool. Have them watch anyway and laugh. Thanks everybody for tuning in for this one. There'll be more up on the page here real soon as I'm shooting videos every day. I'll see you next time here on the Trinity Collective. Enjoy.